Let's take a look at the market setup. We're just counting down to open now, a couple of minutes to go. Already set the tone. Chakri also saying market mood is going to be positive. Pre-market showing a marginal uptick as well. Let's take a look at what are some of the other stocks in news this morning. We've got BHEL with a 10-year exclusive MOU with Singapore's Horizon Fuel Cell. So that stock's going to be in the news this morning. We've also got Aurobindo Pharma. US FDA has inspected one of its units in Bachupally and issued some observation there. So we're waiting for a response from Aurobindo. So that's in the news as well. We've got PNB Housing Finance also in the news. Let's bring up PNB for you. Board has approved fundraising of about 5,000 crores. So that's going to be in focus on PNB. Let's pull that stock up for you as well, just up a little bit in pre-open. We've got Zydus Life Sciences as well. They've completed an inspection of one of their plants, and the company again has to address some amount of queries coming in there. Meanwhile, SpiceJet, and some news in the aviation space, has actually reported a 234 crore rupee loss versus 158 crore profit. Revenue also fell 34%. So even though, market share is also slipping for Spice, and in fact, Akasa, it's not listed, but Akasa has overtaken Spice to be the third largest player in terms of revenue. So that's the latest in the aviation market. Lots of stocks in news there, but keep an eye, as Chakri also mentioned, more importantly on some of those real estate names, cement names, steel names. Gold financiers will continue to be in the news on the back of the kind of uptick we're continuing to see on gold prices. That's going to be a hot area. Auto will continue to be in the news, and Ola Electric is the other one that we're tracking as well on the downside specifically. But these are the segments of the market we've been seeing playing out, and these are the ones that we're continuing to track this morning. So let's calm down. We've got just 5 seconds to go on opening bell today. And Nifty pre-market indicating a gap up. Let's take a look at what the screen is showing us as we hit market open this morning. Yes, about 0.3% uptick coming in there on the Nifty as expected. Let's take a look at the advanced decline ratio. Nifty Bank is flat. Let's take a look at the larger breadth of the market and really what's moving. Nifty IT is also decent this morning, looking good. Clearly shaking off any kind of news from Trump, sounding some warning bells for the IT sector and outsourcing. Nifty Consumer steady. We've got financial services about flat this morning. Let's pull up auto since there'll be a lot of buzz there. Nifty Pharma's up about 0.2% right now. We've got the auto pack, yes, looking strong. That segment's looking strong. And let's pull up some of those individual gainers, some of the top movers today, see where the action's really trending. Steel, you hit it on the nose, Chakri. It's the steel majors right on top this morning. JSW, Tata, 2 to 3%, both of them. We've got Wipro up about 1% this morning. Shriram Finance also looking good. BEL, Adani Enterprises, some of the other names that are running this morning, and Cipla. Let's take a look at the downside as well. Where is some of the lag coming from? The financials are sitting quiet today. No major cuts, but definitely not participating, and that's what's perhaps keeping the index lower as well. Perhaps a little bit of marginal profit booking coming in on some of these names. And also want to pull up Ola Electric for you, since we've been tracking that this morning on the back of that news regards its subsidiary. Let's just see if the company has counter has reacted negatively to that. It has been trending a bit lower in the last month or so. So some concerns around that one. Ola Electric this morning is actually absolutely fine, 2.5% higher. So we'll keep an eye on that. Chakri, I want to come to you on Ola Electric specifically. What is your view there? Because the stock has been trending lower. Some concerns, of course, with some queries raised around one of its subsidiaries. But otherwise, this morning, at least, it seems to be back on track.
You're right. A couple of things. One is Ola has significantly corrected from its listing. And second is, now more information about battery storage and other bits of its CV are coming to light. And, once you start ascribing a valuation to that, kind of brightens the picture. And of course, the things like the current audit do raise concerns. So I think we should approach it with a bit caution unless until we find out more about what is the audit query all about.
All right, so that's on Ola Electric. Chakri, when it comes to some of those steel majors, I'll pull them up again because you mentioned it this morning and they're top of the charts right now. I want to get a sense of which ones you're looking at, which ones are your favorites. What are some of the fundamental factors that you're tracking with regards to, what's really making it to the top of your list and from the steel pack?
Yeah, sure. Jindal Steel and Power, Tata Steel, JSW Steel, all the front line. They should all do well for a couple of different reasons. One is The valuations are on their side. They all trade about 5 to 6 times EV/EBITDA. The second is, domestic demand is picking up. And third, domestic prices are at a maybe 5-6% discount to international prices. And on top of that, there is news that China might curb production of metals. And if all this put together, I think provides you sufficient momentum for the stocks to move higher.
Okay. All right, some deal buzz this morning as well. We've got Adani emerging as a top bidder for debt-ridden JP Associates. Vedanta, pardon me, has emerged as a top bidder. Adani has been outbid with that 12,500 crore NPV offer. So the deal is they're going to pay about 4,000 crore upfront and the rest over 5 to 6 years. So that's the big deal. Let me just pull up Vedanta as well this morning, and that's Adani for you, up about 0.8%. What are you making of this deal, Chakri?
I'm sorry, I didn't follow on the deal, so I wouldn't have much to say.
Okay, no worries there, but that's the news coming in. Vedanta right now is actually trending lower, but they've outbid Adani with a 12,000 crore offer, and that's for JP Associate, the debt-ridden company. The Vedanta's down about 2% today at this point of time. So we'll take a deeper look at perhaps the the breakup of that deal and what it means for Adani going forward. We've got tire stocks in the news. Novama on CEAT again upgraded as a buy. Chakri also talking about some of those tire names and how they stand to be positive as well. Let me also focus a little bit on gold and the kind of reaction we've been seeing on some of those gold financiers as well. Chakri, from the broader markets, given that retail and specifically on gold, but I'm widening the question in case, perhaps you don't want to comment just specifically on this. We are expecting some amount of a retail buzz given we're building up to festive season. Gold and gold financiers, of course, top of the list, but we're also seeing the traction across the board in the broader markets and some of these retail counters. Are you tapping into that trend at all?
You're right. Gold has emerged as a very important asset class in the turmoil of the last couple of years, and the gold have hit record prices. And the beneficiary of that is one is on the financiers, whether it's a Muthoot, Manappuram, and these companies, because their collateral, their loan to values are significantly far more safer loans than they were, let's say, a couple of years ago. And also now they have sufficient room to lend more. Therefore, their AUM growth will be stronger. On the other hand, if you take jewelry demand, companies like Titan are extremely well placed because now you're going into the festive season, and after that, the wedding season, and all these things will further give a benefit boost up to consumer spending. So I think whether it's a Titan or a Muthoot, we are positive on both.
Okay, great. What about financials? Chakri? Let's pull up some of those names. A little quiet this morning, but within the financial basket, what's your strategy? What would you be looking at? Would it be some of the smaller ticket, not smaller ticket names, but the smaller themes like an insurance, the more niche plays, or would it be, the bigger heavyweights that we continue to bank on?
Financials across board are very well positioned, whether it's the PSU banks, the private banks, or some of the NBFCs like Shriram Finance. Now, and of course, you mentioned earlier in your show, PNB Housing, the housing companies again, would benefit from a further interest rate cut. PNB Housing also has a company-specific issue, rather a positive one, because they're raising some money, they announced over this weekend, and the CEO change has now been well triggered. So I think it'll look to move higher. The valuations are on your side. PSU banks, again, valuations of SBI, Canara Bank, looking very strong. And consumer uptick because of the GST cut will benefit some of the private banks and PSU banks. So I think across board is looking strong.
All right, great. Let's take a look at some more brokerage reports. Of course, we've been talking about steel, and we've got some positive outlook coming in there. Nomura also on Swiggy. They've started a coverage there on Swiggy. That's a buy call coming in with a target of 550 rupees a share. They're saying that the food delivery business is on a steady profitability path, and that it will be a key cash engine. So they're actually looking at it quite positively this morning. So that's Nomura. And I also want to, while we're on some of these new age players, let's pull up Ola Electric again, because the stock just seems to be climbing this morning despite news around that audit. So clearly either some amount of buying coming in at lower levels, but the stock today is up about 4%. So Ola Electric definitely won in the news this opening trade.